Hi Vermital, hi Khaled, hi Hamza, hi Hamoudi. So today I'm going to tackle the third part of procrastination. Procrastination from an NLP perspective. So I'm going to give you a brief summary about what we explored in the past lives. So what is procrastination? And before that, I'm curious to know if you are in the States, where are you located? I am located in Miami, Florida. You can't hear me? Why? Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, put thumbs up. Can you hear me? Okay, now can you hear me? Yes? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lahsan. Because TikTok told me that my viewers cannot hear me, but now I can see that you can hear me. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So are you ready for today's topic? So last time, I can hear you well. Great. Last time I tackled procrastination. So I'm going to give a brief summary about what I explored or what we explored last time. So procrastination has nothing to do with time and everything to do with emotional safety. Usually when we hear the procrastination pattern, the first, I would call it, perspective that arises in our minds is time management. But procrastination has nothing to do with time and everything to do with emotional safety. Hi Yoko, how are you doing? So for those who has just joined, can you hear me? I don't know why TikTok keep on telling me that you cannot hear me. So if you can hear me, please Yoko, just put thumbs up. Fine, thank you. All right, perfect. Okay, so here I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever, and today's topic is about procrastination. Have you ever had something extremely important, something significant in your life, and instead of doing it, you didn't? You knew that doing it mattered. You knew that you were capable of doing it. But absolutely we have. Yes, listen, exactly. So instead of doing it, or instead of doing the task that you should do, that matters, you do something else. Exactly, it happened to you. Thank you, Yoko. So you could take your phone and start scrolling, or you started cleaning your house, or reorganizing your clothes, or reorganizing your office. You are doing everything, but not the task or the thing that you have to do it. So the question here is why? Why you did everything except the one thing that actually matters? Yes, Yoko, indeed. Hi, Adam. So my question here is why? Why you didn't do the task that mattered? Fear to get out of the comfort zone. Exactly, Yoko. You are afraid to get out of the comfort zone because that task is you getting out of your comfort zone, is you doing something that is heavy, that you don't want to do it. So what is delay? Yeah, it means delaying the important things. Exactly. This is what procrastination means. So in simple terms, procrastination is not about laziness. It's about protection. And I'll explain for you here what I mean by protection. So our nervous system, okay, whenever our nervous system feels that there is something uncomfortable, as Yoko said, you are stepping out of your comfort zone, the nervous system avoids it. The nervous system avoids it. Why? Because it feels uncomfortable. From an NLP perspective, as today I am tackling procrastination from an NLP perspective, the nervous system has one primary priority. It has one primary priority, which is, am I safe? This is the priority of the nervous system. And sometimes starting the task does not feel safe at all. And what I mean here by safe, not physically unsafe, but emotionally unsafe. And here I will ask you why. Why you feel emotionally unsafe. And I'm curious to hear your answers. Why you are unsafe doing a task that really matters, doing an important work that you are procrastinating. Why does it feel emotionally unsafe? I will give you time to answer. Hi Sukaina, hi Wissam. Why you feel unsafe emotionally? Maybe because of the struggle. Okay, Yoko, thank you for your answer. What else? So my question is for those who has just joined, why you feel emotionally unsafe and you procrastinate and you delay? Why? And here I'm going to give you a couple of reasons. You feel emotionally unsafe because maybe there will be a possibility of failure. If you do the task, maybe you would not do it in the right appropriate way. So perhaps there is this possibility of failure. We have possibility of judgment. You might be judged if you don't do the work as it's supposed to be. Fear of failure or success. Yes, exactly. You are scared. You have this possibility that is that might happen. It's not there, but it might happen. So the possibility of success, as you mentioned, and when there is this possibility of success, it's tied to a possibility of increased expectations. Okay, so because if you succeed, other people are expecting from you a higher level of achievement from now on. Expecting lots to cause of emotional. Expecting lots to cause of emotion. Yeah, exactly, Capri. You're talking here about the emotional side. So instead of moving forward, the system, and what I mean here by the system, our nervous system chooses short-term relief, which is delaying. To delay what you have to do. So now I'm going to jump in directly into the roots, because I was just trying to give you a general idea, because we already covered that before in part 1 and part 2. Now I'm going to share with you the roots of procrastination. Let's see, this is random, but have a good day. Thank you. Raja, hello. Oh, welcome, Sam. So today's subject, for those who has just joined, is procrastination, the third part of procrastination. Hello, Naima. So what are the roots of procrastination? Or how does procrastination, how does it, where are you from? I am located in Florida, Miami. So how procrastination forms? Just like fear of failure and fear of success, procrastination is learned. It usually begins early. And what I mean by early, it begins in our childhood, when mistakes were criticized. Thank you, Ali. Where performance determined worth, and overwhelm was not supported. And I'll go and give you a couple of examples to make it clearer. So what I mean here by mistakes were criticized. As a child, maybe when you tried something new for the first time, you did not succeed. So you were corrected harshly, either by your parents or by your teachers at school. So your nervous system learned a rule that says, if I try, I might be judged. If I try, I might be judged. And when it comes to performance determined worth, if achievement brought approval, hear me on that, and mistakes brought withdrawal, your nervous system learned, if I don't start, I can't fail. Then you don't start at all and you procrastinate. And overwhelm was not supported. And here, if you feel confused or stuck, or no one helped you, what your nervous system has as a rule: when something feels overwhelming, it just shut down. Hi, Faisal. Procrastination shows up in the body just before you take the decision to do the action. And I will tell you why. And mostly how. From an NLP perspective, states come first. Before thoughts, before the excuses, and even before the logic. There is a shift in states. You might notice a drop in energy, a foggy mind, a restlessness, or even sudden interest in irrelevant tasks. Like I shared with you earlier, suddenly you want to clean the house, or you are scrolling your phone. Also, a subtle anxiety in the chest or stomach. So the mind creates a story. This is exactly what happened here. Hello, optimist. Hello, hello. So what the mind creates as a story when there was all those symptoms that are manifested in your body. I work better under pressure. I am not inspired. I need the right mood. I will do it tomorrow. So here I would like to emphasize that the mind is not creating procrastination. The mind is justifying an emotional state. So here I would like to check if you have any questions so far regarding the roots of procrastination. I'm going to go through your messages, and I see lots of people from yesterday. Faisal, Naima, optimist. Who else? Aisha. Hello, Aisha. Hello, Fatima. Hi, Hussein. From Virginia. Hello, hello, people from Virginia. I am located in Florida, Miami. Bella. Hi, Muhammad. Hi, Anis. Oh, thank you, Lionel. Hi, Capri. Hello, hello. Nice to have all of you here. Lovely people. Hi, Aisha from New York. Perfect. So any questions so far? As today I'm going to dive deep into a section that I still didn't cover, because what I was going through earlier, it was briefing for the part 1 and part 2 of procrastination that I did it before. Now I will dive deep into more important things that I'm sure you will like. So here the main question is, Capri? Okay, Capri, that's a very, very accurate question. And I will be very happy to answer it at the end, because maybe you are new in my life. What I do is that I usually focus during the live on the subject that I am tackling, and at the end of the live I will leave like 10 or 15 minutes, and you can ask me whatever question you like, and I will answer it, even if it has nothing to do with the subject. Okay? And for those who has just joined, let me introduce myself. So I am an NLP coach, trainer, and consultant, and NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It's practical framework that shows how your mind, your language, and your behavior are deeply connected, and how each one influences the other constantly. Okay. So, what procrastination is really about? Hello, Cupid. How are you doing? Procrastination is not about the task. It's about what the task represents. Hi, Youssef. Nice to have you, Cupid. So I'm going to repeat it one more time because this is a very significant concept. And you can write it down if you want. Procrastination is not about the task. It's not about what I'm going to do. It's not about the work that I am going to do. There is something beneath it, which is what this task represents. What doing this task represents. And here I will give you a couple of examples of what this task represents, and then I will invite you to go through and exercise all of us together. Okay? So what the task represents? It might represent judgment, okay? It might represent exposure. It might represent success, failure, responsibility, change. Those are the main ones. I would probably say the list is longer, but those are the main ones. And here I will invite all of you to do an exercise with me. So I would like you to make sure that you are in an area where there is not noise around you, so that you can concentrate and you can get in touch with yourself, with your internal emotions, with your internal self. And I would like you, if you like, either to close your eyes or do it with your eyes open, whatever feels comfortable for you. Because when we close our eyes, for me, when I close my eyes, I feel much more connected to my inner self. So let's do this exercise. So I would like you to close your eyes and connect with your inner self and recall a moment in your life that you had a task and that you have to do that task. That task was extremely important, but you did not do it. And while you connect with yourself, just go slowly with yourself and try to see why you did not step up and do the task. Is it because you are afraid to fail? Is it because you are afraid to succeed? Is it because you might be judged by your peers or your family? What is the main reason behind you not doing the task? And I'll give you a moment. And when you're ready, you can send me your answers. So while you are connecting with hesitation and not self-confidence, okay, thank you for sharing, Faisal. Sorry. No much time? I think, Naima, you need to dig deep, because I can understand that sometimes you think that that is the answer, that you don't have much time. But when we say we don't have much time, we don't have this, we don't have that, it's mainly, I would probably call it, it's an excuse. What is behind it? What is underneath it? What are you, let me put it that way. What is stopping you emotionally from doing the task that you should do? Is it because you are afraid to succeed, or because you are afraid? You have a fear of failure, you have a fear of exposure or judgment. So just try to dive deep one more time internally and try to know what is the main reason behind you procrastinating, because as soon as you get the reason, you can work on it. Okay, let me just go back. I saw lots of you send me messages. Okay, let's see. I had to procrastinate often when I am overwhelmed with too much work. Exactly. Overwhelmed. That is a reason. And when you feel overwhelmed, are you overwhelmed with the lots of work? With too much work, as you said. Okay, so you are overwhelmed because you're having too much work. And correct me if I'm wrong, Cupid. Maybe you are a high achiever. You want to do so many things in the same time. That's why you reach this level of feeling overwhelmed. Because this is what happens with high achievers. They want to do so many things in the same time and they got overwhelmed. Hi Ali. Do you accept guests? For the time being, no, but maybe in the future lives, I will accept guests, as I will see if some people would like to do a session live, if they feel comfortable to do it. Maybe I will do it in the future, but for the time being, not yet. But thanks for asking. Okay, I want to start a business, but I didn't. I was afraid to be judged by my surroundings. Exactly. This is one of the reasons behind procrastination. I really like that you could dive deep into yourself, inside of yourself, and you were able to know what is the real reason behind you procrastinating. Okay, I'm waiting for Naima's response. Hi, babe. I just said it, and it happens to me. I delay tasks when I estimate. When I estimate is hard to do. This belongs to procrastination. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Yoko. You feel you are pressured. You need to give a lots of focus, maybe, and you are avoiding the task because the task requires from you a lots of efforts, a lots of cognitive focus, and that's why you delay. And I do that sometimes. Yes, many things in the same time. Okay, Naima, what are those things that are in the same time? I'm trying to dive deep. I actually try to do with you like I do with my clients, because we usually, as a human being, if we are not trained as a coach or a psychiatrist or psychotherapist, we don't really get in touch with the real reasons, with the roots of why we are behaving in a particular way. So while me asking you a question after the other is to make you reach the real roots of why you are procrastinating. Okay? Because when you reach to the roots, you are aware of it, you can see it, you know it, so you can start working on changing it. All right, let's see. Yes, I used to have many tasks to do and finally had to procrastinate certain ones. Exactly. Thank you, Cupid, for your answer. Does time management help in combating procrastinating? Well, I really love your question, Betty. And time management can be a positive or negative. I will explain to you how. Sometimes when you organize your time and you put on a schedule, okay, and you follow this schedule, it means that the time management or the organizing of your time is effective. But sometimes you spend a lot of time into organizing, into putting up schedules, into managing your time, but you don't really follow. It's just another way of procrastinating. Oh, I'm not going to do this task and this task. I have to organize my day. I have to organize. And then you spend a lot of time organizing, but you don't do the action. So if you organize your time effectively and you do the action, in this case, time management is effective. And if you use organizing and time management just as an escape, not to move and to do the action that you need to do, then in this case, it's purely negative. Hello, Abdu, I think. Abdu, I think. Yeah, Abdu, yeah. I think, Abdu, you were there yesterday. Hope you're doing fine. Okay. So, since I don't see any more messages, I'm going to carry on. So what I was trying to explain here is that the nervous system chooses immediate comfort over long-term growth. Abdu, yes. The nervous system chooses immediate I'm actually trying to do two things to read the messages and to carry on with the material. Okay, let me just go one by one. What's if tasks come extra of your experience? Can you please clarify for me your question, Capri? I didn't really get it. If you can clarify it for me, I will be happy to answer it. All right. So what I was sharing with you is that the nervous system chooses immediate comfort over long-term growth. So here is the key refrain. Procrastination is short-term emotional regulation. So we are emotionally regulating ourselves in this short period, just now. But what happened here is that what is the relationship between anxiety and relaxation? Okay, Aisha, I will answer your question at the end of the life. It's a very important question too. I'm happy to answer it at the end. Okay, you get a task, but you don't have much experience how to handle it. All right. So that's why you procrastinate. I got you, Capri. Yeah, exactly. It's you are stepping out into a new territory. This is how I can call it in like psychological terms. You're stepping out or stepping in into a new territory, which means you are going to do something new for you. You have never did before. So why you procrastinate? Because you are afraid to fail. You are afraid to be judged. Okay? Thank you for your comment. I see procrastination as a freeze response where the brain avoids tasks. Exactly. It's the brain avoids doing not tasks in general, but the task that matters, that you need to do. Okay? But you said that the brain freezes. The brain freeze is the consequence, but what happens before the brain freezes, or the brain does not want to do the task, is it comes first in your body. So in your body you start feeling discomfort, as I shared earlier. You feel stressed, you feel heaviness, you feel you are not in the mood. Those are all symptoms that set in your body that send signal to your mind, so your mind does not go ahead and do the task. I hope I clarify it a little bit. So in short terms, procrastination in short term, emotional regulation. It reduces discomfort now, but increases stress later. How many times you procrastinate or you delay a task and you feel good? I would say a couple of hours, sometimes even a couple of minutes, and then deep inside of you, you feel that there is something heavy. It's the stress of a delayed important task, so you feel stress. So that's why we say that procrastination is reduced discomfort on the moment. Your nervous system is not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you. But this protection leads you to procrastinate. So here I'm going to dive deep into an extremely important concept, which is awareness. That's why I took you through that exercise. The exercise that we did earlier is to get connected with yourself, with your internal self, with your emotions, to know and to be aware of the roots of the procrastination, why you are delaying, the emotional roots. And I will share it one more time. It can be fear of success, fear of failure, judgment, feeling that you are not enough, being criticized, etc. The list is very long. So here, when you reach this level of awareness, and awareness here will change everything. When you understand procrastination this way, the way that I explained to you and I took you through that exercise, shame decreases, because shame makes procrastination worse. You stop saying, I'm lazy, because I'm sure that if any one of you starts procrastinating, the first thing that he will tell himself or herself, oh, I'm so lazy. But it's not that. And when you are aware of it, you stop saying to yourself, I am lazy, and you start saying something else, which is, what does this task mean to me emotionally? And I would like you to really write it down. This is an amazing question. Instead of saying, I'm lazy, or I don't know how to do something, or I'm going to delay it. Instead of saying all those excuses, just sit with yourself and do the exercise that I showed you and ask yourself this question. What does this task mean to me emotionally? I will repeat it one more time. What does this task mean to me emotionally? Why am I avoiding feeling? Why am I avoiding feeling? So either you are avoiding feeling judged, being afraid, feeling criticized. There is a feeling that you are avoiding through procrastination. What old association is being activated. So you here what will happen is you are going to shift from judging yourself to being curious. And this is a very powerful tool. Instead of judging yourself and talking bad to yourself, which is extremely negative, you are trying to be curious. Why am I not doing this? What is, and I repeat it one more time, what does this task mean to me emotionally? Because once you identify the emotional link, once you identify it, you can update it. Okay, so let me see if you have any questions, because I try to avoid failure. Okay, Faisal, exactly. So that is the root. It's that you don't want to have this feeling of failure. And most probably this will happen with you in, let's say, maybe new task, something that you are newly learning. Because this is what's mainly linked to fear of failure. You are afraid to fail in something that you are not, you don't know it that much, that you started learning. Is there a book to read? A book about what exactly? What I am sharing with you here, you will not find it in internet, because this is something that it helps you understand yourself. Exactly, this is something that we studied. So what is the difference between time management and self-management? I will answer your question. So time management is about time. Let's say at 5 I will go to the gym. At 6 I'll come back home, take a shower and eat. At 7 I will have some work to do in my laptop. This is time management. You are managing your time. Okay? Self-management is different. Self-management is you are managing yourself. Maybe your emotions, your thoughts, your mind. Okay? So we could say that self-management is the big component, or the big I don't know how to explain it. Like, time management is part of self-management. Okay, time management is one small part in self management. I am sincere. Okay, NLP procrastination is a kind of laziness or fear of failure. It's fear of failure, fear of success. Laziness is just the mask for procrastination. Hello, Hiba. I see procrastination. Okay, fine. So, no more questions. Just checking. So here I'm going to talk a little bit about NLP, as lots of you are asking. What are some practical solutions for students who struggles with procrastination? So I gave you that exercise that we went through earlier, is that you try to get connected with yourself and try to know what is the roots of this procrastination. Is it fear of failure, fear of success? Is it judgment? Is it criticize? And then when you know the root, you need to work on that root accordingly. Okay, and this is what I'm going to explain right now. And the way you need to work on it, it's you need to work on it on the subconscious mind. Okay, so I would like here from you to really be to really focus with me as I will share with you a little bit about NLP and how NLP helps you. How does NLP dissolve procrastination, not manage it and not mask it, but resolve it at the root? So here I'm going to share with you the solution. So the answer is simple. NLP works directly with the source of the pattern. The source of the pattern, the core programming of the mind. You remember earlier when we find out the source of the pattern? Some of you share with me that it was judgment, some of you it was fear of failure, fear of success. So NLP works directly with the source. This is the source that we find out. The core programming of the mind. Instead of trying to change behavior at the surface, because I saw lots of questions, like also Betty asking, do all people procrastinate to the same degree? Of course no, because procrastination is tied to early childhood experiences. It's tied to early childhood experiences, and each one of us had a different childhood, and each one of us has a different pattern according to what he or she went through in her or his childhood. All right? So all those patterns, and let's talk about procrastination. Instead of trying to change this pattern or to change the behavior, which is not procrastinating on the surface, which is rarely effective. I'm sure that all of you try to say to themselves, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to procrastinate. Whenever I have a task, I will do it on spot. Did it work? I'm sure it didn't. It would work periodically, but for a long time, I don't think so. And correct me if I'm wrong. You can share with me if just by talking to yourself and trying to change this pattern on a surface, on a behavior level, is it effective? NLP works with the language of the mind. What I mean by that? Thank you, Faisal, for answering Aisha questions. I think it has connections with SMART goals. SMART goals, what do you mean exactly? Like procrastination is tied to when a person has SMART goals? This is what you trying to explain? NLP works with the language of the mind. The language of the mind, okay? Because our mind has a different language, which is the subconscious. And a subconscious pattern like procrastination, we cannot change it consciously. We need to change it on the subconscious level. So NLP works with the language of the mind and the subconscious processes that created perfectionism as well as procrastination or fear of failure or fear of success is in the first place. So I repeat it one more time. NLP works with the language of the mind and the subconscious processes that created procrastination in the first place? So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I think it has connection. Okay, already answered that. Is procrastination linked to lack of self-confidence? Lack of self-confidence, it can be linked also to lack of self-confidence, and I am explaining now why and how. Okay? Procrastination begin in childhood. In patterns like procrastination and other, the pattern mainly starts in our childhood. So I will explain you here how it works. So in NLP, we go back to the very first moment when the pattern was formed. The very first moment when the pattern was formed. The original experience where the mind learned that mistakes were dangerous. Or that just check in if any one of you ask more questions. Okay. So as I said, we go back to the very first moment where the pattern was formed. The original experience where the mind learned that mistakes were dangerous. So in NLP, we do not relive the past to suffer again. We revisit it safely from a different perspective. So we go back to the very first moment, which is a childhood experience, and we do not relive the past to suffer again. We revisit it from a different perspective. And when we revisit it from a different perspective, we bring in resources that were not available at that time, that were not available when you were a child. When that happens, the emotional charge of the memory shifts. The memory stays the same, but the emotional charge shifts. The event stays the same, but its influence on your nervous system changes. You are not erasing memories. We are not denying reality. We are not fooling ourselves or rewriting facts. We are adding possibilities. We are updating the programming, the subconscious program. So I will emphasize on it and say it one more time. We are not changing history. We are changing the meaning behind it, the story behind it. Since procrastination is linked to our subconscious, can we get it out forever, fix it all? Exactly, and this is exactly what I am doing. I am working with people who have specific patterns, and I let them to reprogram their subconscious mind. And when you do this, this particular coaching model, which helps you to reprogram the subconscious mind, you will not have this pattern anymore. And this is what I do exactly. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I'm about to end. I will end in a while, and then I will be open to answer all your questions, even questions that has nothing to do with today's topic. All right? So the mind does not suffer because of what happened, just for you to know. The mind does not suffer because of what happened. It suffers because of the meaning it learned from what happened. And here, Yoko, I would like to give you a very valid example. Okay? Let's say in a family, and for all of you as well, let's say in a family there are two children. One who is 4 years old and one who is 5 years old. And an incident happened in front of both those children. An incident happened. Let's say the parents start fighting about something or arguing. So this is the incident. This is exactly what happened. But each one of the kids will perceive it, will see it differently than the other. This is what I am talking about. This is the meaning behind the incident. Let's say the kid who is 4 years old, who is younger maybe, he could say, oh, my parents are fighting because I didn't want to eat breakfast. And don't forget, here we are talking about a 4 years old kid. You know how the maturity of a 4 years old kid, his maturity is like a maturity of a kid, or he's still not even mature, if you want to put it this way. So he thinks that his parents are fighting because he didn't have breakfast, let's say. He didn't want to have breakfast. While the other kid, who is 5 years old, he saw his parents fighting, and he didn't, the meaning that he saw, or the meaning that he gave it to himself, is that, okay, they are fighting, I have nothing to do with their fights. So here, the impact of the incident is extremely different. The first kid, he feels that what happens to his parents is because of him, while the second kid does not relate what's going on with his parents to him. So most probably the first kid who give this meaning, he can have, or he can learn one of the patterns, not mainly procrastination. It can be any other pattern. So I'm just trying to make you understand the difference between what happens and the meaning we give to what happens. So the mind, as I say, does not suffer because of what happened. It suffers because of the meaning it learned from what happened. It is actually not about what happens to you. It's about the meaning you give to what happens to you. And NLP helps you update that meaning. And this is exactly what I do. So old programs that no longer serves you, the old programs that you had in your childhood, from your childhood experiences, those old programs that no longer serves you are transformed because your subconscious now has new perspectives, new options, new resources. All right? And when the mind has more choices, more resources, more options, what happens here? Patterns like perfectionism, like procrastination, like fear of failure, like fear of success, naturally loosen. So I am about to end my life, and now I will open the floor to everyone who has a question. Even if it's not related to the subject, drop me a message in the comments and ask me what would you like to know, or what is the question that you would like to ask me, related to the subjects or not related to the subjects. Okay, let's see, Capri, how we measure our emotions level, so if we know so easily control our mood, behavior and thoughts. How we measure our emotion. Okay, so the best way to measure your emotion is to focus on your body, because before the emotion happen, there is sensation in your body. Let's say you are afraid of dogs. I'm not talking about you, I'm just giving a general example. When you see a dog from far, what happens to you in your body? Your heart starts, you know what I mean? Or let's say you are afraid of snakes and you are in the desert or somewhere and there is snake next to you. So what happens? Maybe you start sweating, maybe. So if you want to know or to understand your emotions, the best thing is to, according to what you asked me here, is to be connected with your body. Or if you would like to speak in front of lots of group, like let's say public speaking is one of the fears that lots of people have. They're afraid to speak in front of a large group. Okay, so when you see that there is an emotion or there is a manifestation in your body, know that you need to work on that. Okay, I will try to. You're welcome, Faisal. That's so sweet. I still didn't think about the pattern I'm going to tackle and to explore next week, but I will be happy that you tell me any suggestion. What would you like me to talk about next time? You can either send it to me here or you can send it in my DM. I'll try to open my DM and check if you have a particular pattern that you would like me to talk about next week. I will go through your questions in case I miss one of your questions. Very clear. Thank you, Yoko. Nice example. Thank you, Naima. Okay. Can you suggest some good books to read? What do you like to read, and about which subjects? Like, give me examples so that I can give you suggestion. What are the topics that you like, that you would like to learn? I have never heard about that. So for those who don't know about NLP, I don't know if you know somebody in the States who is very, very famous. His name is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins. So Tony Robbins is a coach, international coach, and he works with NLP as a framework. He had a summit. It was in YouTube this January. It was a free summit. 3 days, I think 4 days. It was very, very interesting. So everything that he talked about, it was mainly NLP. Okay. I know that we coaches know about it because we study it and we are in the field, but not everybody knows about it, which is okay. I would know many things about other fields too. That's normal. All right, any more questions? I'll give you another 5 minutes. If there is any other question, I'll be happy to answer. For the topic, please mention behind you or mention display so not to again intro. I did not get you really, Capri. I didn't get you. So my question is, next week I'm going to tackle a new subject, a new topic, a new pattern. So what would be the pattern that you would like me to talk about? I'm happy to receive your suggestion, or I can give you a couple of suggestions. So I already talked about a couple of patterns. There is, let's say, self-criticism, self-judgment, self-doubt, rigid thinking. So which one of these you'd like me to talk about? Self-criticism, somebody who's always criticizing himself. Self-judgment, who's always judging himself. They're quite near, but they're not identical. Self-doubt, low self-worth. Rigid thinking. Rigid thinking is somebody who has an inability to adapt. Either you have to think like him, or you are his enemy. So he's somebody who's not flexible. It's not easy for him to adapt, let's say, to adapt in different culture, to adapt with different people, to adapt with different mindsets. Self-doubt is somebody who always doubt himself. I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. So I'm just giving you a couple of examples. If you would like me to talk about, to explore together. And now, for those who have just joined, don't forget to follow. And from now on, I'm going to do the lives in Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So this week it was an exception because yesterday I did, yesterday was Valentine's, so I did love in relationship. That's why today I did procrastination. Usually I don't do lives on Sunday, but it was an exception. So next week I'm going to do live in, I still didn't decide the topic. I'm waiting for you to give me your suggestion, and I see, depending on how many of you want a particular topic, then I will talk about it. So next week it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Wherever you are in the world, just check what time is it in your country. So here it's 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'm going to go through one more time. Okay, self-judgments. Okay, self-judgment. Hello, Apex. Nice to see you here. I think you just joined, right? Okay, so it's the end of the live. Okay, nice to know where you are, Faisal. It's the end of the live, and I am asking everyone who is here what is the next or the topic that you would like me to do. I know you are late, it's okay. But next week I'm going to talk about either self-judgment, self-criticism, self-doubt. So you can tell me, Apex, which one you'd like me to talk about, and I'll see, depending on how many people wants one subject, and I'll go ahead and talk about it. Okay, let's see. The best topic is relationship. Yes, I talked about love in relationship yesterday. It was very good live. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I hope that people who were there, they did. So Optimist says she wants self-judgment. I know, it's a very good topic, self-judgment. Who else? I'm learning English and I like the way you speak it. That's good, Triple. So welcome. Welcome to attend my lives. When is the next live? The next live, Abdu, is next week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. How long it has taken you to study the field? How long it has taken me? I think I've been studying for 6 years maybe, because I did coaching, and then I did training and I did consulting. So each one is 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. So I think almost 6 years. I think between, yeah. I stopped counting because you know why? Because it's not about like you have a material and you stop learning. No, I'm learning all the time. You know, it's like something that you need always to go through. You need always to read about it. For example, when I talked about Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins is one of the pioneers of NLP. So when he did whenever he did the webinar, I always try to watch him, you know, because he comes up with new ideas. So it's like learning never stops in such fields. And I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about human beings. All right. Hello, Faisal. So my next live is going to be next week, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Self-judgment, who else? The best topic is relationship. Yeah, I told you I did it yesterday. Relationship, also Naima wants relationship. Okay. I don't know, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go through it. Thank you, Faisal. I'm going to go through it. Thank you. Yeah, it was enriching. I agree with you because I said the different concept today that I didn't share in the second and first parts. Always happy to share with you. Always happy to share with you. Flexibility at work. Okay. That's a good subject. I joined the relationship community. Let's select relationship. Okay, relationship. But relationship is a huge subject. I think you enjoyed yesterday's live, huh? Okay, so what do you want me to talk about in relationship? Because relationship, there are many layers into it. Anyway, send me your. I'll try to check my messages. Send me in a DM if you want relationship, but tell me what you want in a relationship exactly. Because yesterday I talked about love and I talked about attachment styles. What is the partner that you would like to have, and what are the things that you don't have, and you want to have in your partner, remember? So which aspect or which layer would you like me to talk about it? Okay, so I'm going to leave you right now. For those who have just joined, don't forget to follow me, and also feel free. Family relationship as we like it this recent decade. Oh, I like that. Yes, Faisal, family relationship. Okay, I'll see how many people want relationship and how many people want like what they want exactly when it comes to relationship. It was really interesting and amazing. Thank you, Yoko. Thank you. Thank you, Abdo. Okay, so I'm going to leave you. Have a good evening, and next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, I can say childbirth in a relationship. What's the consequences and things behind this? Okay, childbirth, having a kid. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.